Hunter Biden's former business partner told lawmakers that the president was never involved in his son's business deals, but he also said that Hunter used his family name to lure investors. Devon Archer testified behind closed doors to the House Oversight Committee earlier this week. Archer worked alongside Hunter Biden on the board of the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, beginning in 2014 when Joe Biden was vice president. Republicans have said his testimony is a bombshell that proves the president lied when he said he never talked to his son about his business dealings. Democrats say the testimony shows father and son talked about nothing but the weather. Well, today we finally got the transcript. NewsNation chief Washington correspondent Blake Burman has been digging into it for us. Blake, what does the transcript show? Does it support the Republicans' allegations?
Yeah, it's sort of a little bit of everything in here for both sides, Elizabeth. On the Republican side, the House Oversight Committee has been probing into the Biden family's business dealings, and they say that Devon Archer's testimony shows that Hunter Biden was using his father, then the vice president, to quote-unquote enrich the Biden family. For example, Archer described how Hunter Biden would put his father on speakerphone during business meetings. Archer says he believed that showed how part of what was being delivered was, quote-unquote, the Biden brand. Here's part of that transcript. Quote, "I think that's what we're talking about," Archer says, is that there was brand being delivered along with other capabilities and reach. I think brand is the best way to describe it. But here's a key passage that Democrats point to, and it also goes to show how either side can make sort of a told-you-so argument. Archer is asked, "So based on everything you saw, heard, and observed, did you have any knowledge of Joe Biden having any involvement with Burisma?" And he says, no, direct no. He then goes on to say, though, quote, "My only thought is that I think Burisma would have gone out of business if it didn't have the brand attached to it. That's my only honest opinion." So Democrats there, Elizabeth, point to Archer saying that Joe Biden was never involved directly with Hunter Biden's business dealings. And he says just that, while Archer says it's his opinion that Burisma would have gone out of business had it not been for the so-called brand. Elizabeth?
Okay, but so according to Devon Archer's testimony, Hunter Biden would call his dad about 20 times over 10 years and put him on speakerphone. But did he ever say what they talked about on speakerphone?
He would say they were pleasantries. It was even the weather at some point in time. So it's part of the argument of, look, there was no direct business dealings. They were never really talking directly about business. But on the other side of things, Elizabeth, Joe Biden at the time was the vice president of the United States, right? And so the other side of the argument is just by simply putting the vice president of the United States on speakerphone with business partners goes to show the power that Hunter Biden was trying to portray, and thus the quote-unquote brand, and how Republicans say the Biden family made money off of it.
Well,
but in any
do
event,
they have proof the Biden family made money?
There's shell companies and money flowing in and out and all sorts of things that Republicans have been trying to get to and poking holes at. But at the end of the day, as the Archer testimony shows, no direct link that Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's business. And by the way, you'll remember back on the campaign trail before Joe Biden, when he was running for president, he would say, "I never discussed Hunter Biden's business dealings with my son." The White House is not saying that anymore. They've moved on from never discussed to he was never in business with his son. So what Democrats in the White House are saying, and they're pointing to that Archer testimony, is by saying, look, no direct link, no smoking gun. Republicans are saying Hunter Biden was essentially trading off his father's name to try to enrich the family.
Okay, so
like I said, something for both sides here, Elizabeth.
I'm just still not getting. I keep waiting for the Republicans to close the circle, to close the loop here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they say the phone calls happened, but then they say there were pleasantries and they talked about the weather. And they say they enriched themselves, but they haven't showed any money actually being deposited in Joe Biden's bank account. I mean, it's definitely a smoking gun for Hunter Biden trading on the family name, for sure.
And to your point, keep in mind, this has been going on for years, right? This investigation, and still no quote unquote smoking gun. It's part of, some of the questions, sort of a put up moment for Republicans, right? And yet here we are with even the Devon Archer testimony, and Devon Archer says no direct link. Republicans, though, are trying to get at every single angle here and say, look, we've got questions, we got to follow the money, so on and so forth.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.